What would you do if you were trapped in a room with dangerous pirates plotting mutiny, and the only way out was through betrayal or bravery? As tensions rise and the infamous black spot makes its mark, Jim Hawkins must navigate a deadly game of survival. But when a strange ritual and a sinister discovery deep in the jungle unravel, the stakes grow higher than ever. What is the pirate's darkest secret, and will Jim uncover it before it's too late? Keep watching, because the truth will change everything you thought you knew. The pirates had been holding their secret meeting for quite some time. At last, one of them came back into the blockhouse. He gave a mocking salute to Silver and asked for the torch. Silver handed it over with little fuss, and the man left again, leaving us alone in the darkness. "There's a breeze coming, Jim," Silver said in a friendly tone, as if nothing was wrong. I was curious about what the pirates were doing, so I went to one of the narrow loopholes in the wall and peeked outside. The fire they had built earlier had burned down to embers, glowing faintly on the ground. I could just see the group of pirates halfway down the slope. One of them held the torch while another knelt in the middle of the group. The light gleamed off something in the kneeling man's hand. It was a knife. The others were stooped over, watching closely as the man worked. I squinted to see what he was doing. Then I noticed he also had a book in his other hand, a Bible. What are they doing with a Bible and a knife, I wondered. It seemed strange and out of place. Before I could figure it out, the man stood up, and the entire group began walking back toward the blockhouse. "They're coming," I said to Silver. Silver didn't seem worried. "Let 'em come, lad," he replied with a grin. "I've still got a trick or two left." The door creaked open, and the pirates shuffled inside. They stuck close together, as if none of them wanted to be the first to act. Finally, they pushed one of their own forward, a nervous man who moved slowly, holding his right hand tightly closed around something. "Step up, lad," Silver barked. "I'm not going to bite. Just hand it over now. You know the rules." Encouraged by Silver's words, the man took a few shaky steps forward, handed something to Silver, and then scurried back to his group. Silver held up the object for a closer look. It was a small piece of paper, blackened on one side. "The black spot," he said calmly. "I thought so." Turning the paper over, he noticed something odd. "Hold on, you've cut this out of a Bible? What fool ruins a Bible for something like this?" "It was Dick," one of the pirates muttered. Silver sneered. "Well, Dick, you'd better start praying. Ruining a Bible is bad luck, and you've had your share of good fortune already." George Merry, a tall pirate with sharp yellow eyes, stepped forward. "Enough of that, Silver," he growled. "We've given you the black spot, and now you have to listen to us." "Read what it says." Silver flipped the paper over. The word "deposed" was scrawled on the back. "Deposed, eh?" Silver said with a smirk. "Well, isn't that fancy writing, George? Maybe you think you're captain now?" "Don't get smart, Silver," George snapped. "Step down from that barrel and take your place. We're done with your tricks." But Silver didn't move. "Hold on now," he said firmly. "I'm still the captain until I've had my say. You've got complaints? Fine. Let's hear them, one at a time." George didn't waste any time listing his complaints. "First," he said, "you've messed up this whole voyage. Second, you let the enemy walk away when we had them trapped. Third, you wouldn't let us attack them on the march. And fourth, you're keeping that boy alive for no good reason." Silver listened without interrupting. When George finished, he calmly puffed on his pipe and said, "That's all, is it? Good. Now let me explain." He leaned forward, his voice growing sharper. "Who's really to blame for this mess? It's not me. It's you lot. If you just listened to me, we'd all be sitting on the Hispaniola right now, with the treasure in her hold and plenty of food and drink to go around. But no, you turned on me the moment we landed. Now look where that's gotten us, up to our necks in trouble." The pirates glanced at each other, uneasy. Silver's words were hitting their mark. "And as for the boy," Silver continued, pointing at me, "he's our hostage. You know what a hostage is, don't you? He might be the only thing keeping us alive right now. Kill him? Not a chance." He paused, letting his words sink in. Then, with a dramatic gesture, he threw a piece of paper onto the floor. It was the treasure map. The pirates gasped. They pounced on the paper like cats on a mouse, their eyes lighting up with excitement. "You see?" Silver said smugly. I've got the treasure map. Now, unless one of you has a better plan, I'd suggest you sit down and listen to me." The room fell silent. One by one, the pirates nodded. "Barbecue for Captain," they shouted, using Silver's nickname. "Well, that's more like it," Silver said, his grin returning. "And as for this black spot," he crumpled the paper in his hand. "Worthless." The pirates soon settled down for the night, taking turns keeping watch. But I couldn't sleep. My mind raced with thoughts of what had just happened. Silver was playing a dangerous game, trying to keep the pirates together while secretly plotting his own survival. Just as I began to drift off, a voice called out from outside the stockade. "Blockhouse, ahoy!" it shouted. "It's the doctor!" Dr. Livesey had arrived. Relief flooded over me, but it was mixed with guilt. How could I face him after all the trouble I'd caused by sneaking away? Silver, on the other hand, greeted the doctor like an old friend. "Top of the morning to you, sir," he called cheerfully. "Come on in. We've got a little surprise for you." The doctor stepped inside, his eyes widening when he saw me. "Not Jim?" he asked, sounding shocked. Silver grinned. "The very same, doctor. Isn't it a pleasant surprise?" Dr. Livesey paused, his face unreadable. Finally, he said, "Well, let's deal with the sick first. Duty before pleasure." He began examining the injured pirates, acting as though nothing was out of the ordinary. His calm confidence seemed to affect the pirates, who behaved themselves for once. When he finished, Dr. Livesey turned to Silver. "Now I'd like a word with that boy," he said, nodding toward me. The pirates protested, but Silver silenced them with a single command. "Let him talk to the doctor," he said firmly. "It's not a big deal." The night was tense as Silver guided me to speak with the doctor through the gaps in the stockade wall. His grip on my shoulder was firm, a steady anchor as we moved away from the campfire's flickering glow. Behind us, the pirates' voices rose and fell, an unpredictable murmur of grumbles and restless chatter. "Easy now," Silver muttered under his breath. "We don't want them thinking we're up to anything. If they get suspicious, it'll be over before you can blink." I swallowed hard, nodding. Each step across the cool sand felt deliberate, the faint scent of salt and smoke lingering in the air. Ahead, beyond the shadows of the stockade, the doctor waited. Silver stopped abruptly, his demeanor shifting. When he spoke, his voice carried a note of urgency and desperation. "Doctor," he called out, loud enough for anyone nearby to hear, "listen to me. This boy here, he'll tell you himself. I saved his life. I risked everything, and for what? To be thrown down like dirt by my own crew. But I don't care. All I'm asking for is a fair word from you. That's not too much, is it? Just a shred of hope to hold on to." He took a shaky breath, his tone softening. "Doctor, I'm walking a razor's edge here. I'm not asking for mercy, just fairness." The doctor stood silently, his face unreadable. Then he spoke, his voice calm but probing. "Silver, are you afraid?" Silver let out a dry chuckle, snapping his fingers as if to punctuate the thought. "Afraid? Not me. But I'll say this. The gallows would make even the bravest man think twice. I'm no coward, but I'm no fool either. You're a good man, Doctor. Remember that when the time comes. Remember the good I've done." With that, Silver stepped back and settled onto an old tree stump nearby. His sharp eyes scanned the scene, taking in every movement. The doctor, me, and the pirates still stirring near the fire. The weight of guilt bore down on me, my chest tightening. I didn't need to see the doctor's expression to know what he was thinking. His words came slowly, hitting harder than I expected. "You've made your choice," he said, shaking his head, "and now you'll have to live with it. But let me tell you this. When the captain was strong, you wouldn't have dared to run. You only did it when he was weak. That's the truth of it. A coward's move." The words stung, and tears blurred my vision. My voice cracked as I tried to reply. "Doctor, you're right," I admitted softly. "I've been blaming myself ever since. If it weren't for him standing up for me, I'd already be dead. I don't mind dying. I probably deserve it. But there's one thing I'm afraid of." My voice dropped to a whisper. "If they torture me, I might talk. I might give away everything. The ship's location, the plans, all of it." The doctor's gaze softened, his voice gentler now. "Then don't stay here. Come with me. One jump over the wall, and we're free. I shook my head firmly. Number, you wouldn't do it, and neither would the captain or the squire. I gave my word, and I'm not going back on it. He trusted me, and I won't betray that. But there's something you need to know. Something I didn't finish telling you. I spoke quickly then, spilling everything. The ship's location, the risks I'd taken, the sheer luck that had carried me through. The doctor listened intently, his expression growing darker with every detail. When I finally stopped, he nodded slowly. You've done more for us than anyone could have asked. You uncovered the plot. You saved us all more times than I can count. And now you're standing here, still trying to do the right thing. Do you think we'll let you pay the price for that? Never. In the distance, a pirate's voice rang out. Breakfast ready. Silver's sharp eyes flicked to the call, his face calm and unreadable as he motioned for me to join the others. Around the campfire, the pirates tore into their provisions with reckless abandon, laughing and shouting as they ate. I sat quietly, my thoughts heavy. I glanced at Silver, who was casually chewing on a piece of bacon, his parrot perched on his shoulder. His words were smooth, lifting the men's spirits. But I wasn't fooled. He was walking a tightrope, playing both sides. If the pirates grew suspicious, he'd be the first to pay the price. When the time came to move out, we formed a ragged line, tools and supplies jangling as we trudged toward the jungle. A rope was tied around my waist, Silver holding the other end like a leash. The air was thick and warm, yet a chill seemed to follow us. The jungle closed in around us, the ground uneven and treacherous. Sweat dripped from our faces as we climbed, the salty breeze mingling with the sweet scent of flowers. But the beauty of the island felt like a cruel joke. Then it happened. A terrified scream shattered the uneasy quiet. We froze, hearts pounding, and rushed toward the sound. At the base of a tall tree, we found it, a skeleton tangled in vines. The bones were laid out straight, the arms stretched above the head like a diver poised to leap. Unease rippled through the group as we stared at the grisly sight. This is Flint's work, Silver murmured, his voice barely audible. One of his jokes, a warning, plain as day. No one argued. The weight of his words settled over us like a dark cloud. We pressed on, but the spirit was gone from the group. No more jokes, no more laughter. Even under the blazing sun, the jungle seemed darker, the air colder. We were close to the treasure now, but danger felt closer still. Every step brought us closer to the unknown. The pirates are closer than ever to the treasure, but their resolve is shaken by a haunting message from Flint's past. As tensions rise and dangers mount, Jim Hawkins finds himself trapped in a deadly web of betrayal and survival. What dark secrets lie in wait deep within the jungle of Treasure Island? Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to uncover the chilling truths in the next chapter. The real danger is just beginning. Don't miss it.